So far, so good. One function in the bag. The name of the function is equal to sum. Now, let's quickly add up to 6 Excel functions. Aggregate function, as I like to refer to these particular ones. So let's say that we have this sample data right here, and we're supposed to compute numbers for the following. Our total salary is meant to be the summation of all of these salaries. So that's just going to be equal to the sum of, highlight my range, close my parentheses and press enter. That gives me the total salary. Now, when I say average salary, somebody somewhere is tempted to say, okay, I think we have about 10 people here, and if I just divide this number by 10, I'm going to get the average, right? Somebody is tempted to say, okay, the average is going to be equal to this divided by 10, and press enter, right? That's wrong. For the lowest salary, somebody is tempted to manually go to check and manually identify that the lowest salary is 29,420, and they basically probably just come here to type 29,420 as the lowest salary, and then they do the same for the highest, and they basically manually complete this task. Let me tell you the dangers of each of these issues I have identified. Now, when you say equal to this total salary here divided by 10, what if I go to delete somebody's number like this? You know that once I've deleted this now, I no longer have 10 people's salaries. I now have 9 people's salary. Of course, the total has been properly updated, to factor in that one of those guys have been deleted. However, this my average is still dividing by 10, whereas I'm now supposed to divide by 9. Okay, that's where that becomes wrong. Now, for the other one, the lowest salary. If you manually pick the lowest salary the way I've just done as 29,420, what if somebody just comes here to change this one to 10,000? This now becomes the new lowest salary. And the way you have done it now, this becomes incorrect. Okay, so I believe now you see another advantage of using functions in Excel, because they basically makes updates to be easier, and they give you more accurate results after you make changes, because the function just work based on the inputs that you have provided. So to compute our average salary, we do have a function in Excel that does that. And your guess is absolutely right. For totaling, we can use sum. For average, we are going to use the average function. So what I'll do here is, let me delete what I've done and compute my average as equal to the average function. So average returns the average arithmetic mean of its argument, blah, blah, blah. So like I said, I don't have to type in the name of the function in full. Once I have it highlighted like this, or I could use my cursor to look for it, it's currently staying on the average function itself. I'm just going to press my tab key, and that will automatically complete the name of the function and also open my parentheses. Average is just like sum. The arguments can be supplied the same way we supply the arguments for sum. Therefore, I'm simply just going to highlight this range of cells, and I'm going to close my parentheses and press enter. Then you can see the average salary. Now, even if I go to delete any of these guys now, you will see that the average basically is just going to update itself correctly. Control Z. Now, for the lowest salary now in this case, the function that you use to get the lowest of a list of numbers is called min. So if I want to get the lowest salary right here, I'm going to use equal to min, then tab to open my parentheses, and we're going to supply the arguments exactly the same way we supply for sum and average. I'm just going to highlight this range this way, close my parentheses and press enter, and you see the lowest is 10,000, right? And if I make this to become 30,000, that means it's no longer going to be the lowest when I press the enter key, and the new lowest is now 29,000. You see how that just automatically gets picked up. Now the opposite of lowest is highest. That means if we used mean for lowest, which is just like a short form for minimum, highest is going to be max. So I'm going to use equals to max, tab key to open my parentheses. I'm going to highlight the range of cells, close the parentheses and press enter. That gives me the highest salary. These are your regular aggregate functions in Excel. Now let's go to take a look at two other interesting Excel functions. If I wanted to pick the second highest salary and the third lowest salary, I know I can use the extreme ends of low and high by using min and max function. Min to pick the lowest, max to pick the highest. But in the event where I don't want the lowest, neither do I want the highest, I just want something like maybe second or third or fourth or something like that, then we have different groups of functions for that. If I want to pick the second highest, the function I'm going to use is called equal to large. That's the name of the function now, large. So when I type equals to large, you see large returns the kth. The k here is just a placeholder, right? The k could be 1, maybe the first, or 5, maybe the fifth. So large returns the kth largest value in a data set. So press my parentheses to open the bracket, and you can see that we have two arguments for the large function. The first argument is the array, the second argument is the k. Array is another name that you can use to specify a range that is just a list, right? A list of a range like this. So my array is going to be this range like this, and I'm going to press comma so that I can supply argument number 2. So argument number 2 is the k now. Because I want second highest salary, my k is going to be 2. And when I close my parentheses and press enter, this is going to give me the second highest salary. Remember, the highest salary is 79,000 and the second highest is 77,000. Now, if I want to pick the third lowest salary, if large gives me something about the kth largest, what do you think is going to give me the kth lowest? Equal to SM small. And I'm going to press that key to open my parentheses. The same way we have completed large is the same way we are going to complete small. So I'm going to highlight my array, comma. Since I want the third lowest, I'm going to press number 3. And I'm going to close my parentheses and press enter on my keyboard. And that's the third lowest salary. So now pretty much quickly we have covered 6 different functions in Excel. And if you remember, you don't need to know all of the functions that Excel has. We just need to cover about 35 to 40 Excel functions and you are good to go.